Peace. Peace and blessings to everyone. I pray that everyone is doing well. I pray that everyone is strong and striving to be stronger for yourself, for those you love and care for. There's a great need today to be better than we have been. And some might say there's always been a need. Can't go wrong when you do and be better at any given time, I believe. But we're living in a real, terrible time. And the earth has seen this before, but I'm not just referring to COVID. I'm referring to senseless violence. It's almost like a heartlessness that weighs heavy in the air. So if we can do and be better than that is imperative. I just want to speak on a couple of things. But before I do, again, as always, I have to thank everybody. I have to thank everybody because that's one of the lessons that I learned, having done, the amount of time I've done in prison. 25 years, I was forced to sit down and assess life, assess myself. And I came to a lot of conclusions, and I've learned a lot of lessons. But one of the primary lessons I've learned was gratitude. I'm noticing that is something that is, it's not as stressed today. You can give someone something and they might not say thank you. And you give from your heart, so you're not necessarily looking for a thank you. But I think gratitude is almost automatic. I know the Bible says that God is a jealous God, because of everything he's done for us. He doesn't want us to set up rivals or partners with him, so, he's not happy if we worship a stone. He's not happy if we don't humble ourselves and say thank you, get on our knees from time to time, or just talk to him through the course of the day and just to say thank you for this beautiful day. Even if it's a rainy day, some people call rainy days bad days or gloomy days. Nah, it's just a rainy day. The earth needs water. Someone needs water. Some fires need to be put out. The air needs to be cleansed. It's a rainy day, but it's a beautiful day because we're breathing. And there are those who won't smell the cleansed air. There are those who won't smell the rain. There are those who won't feel it, see it ever again. So gratitude is something that I've learned. And it was a hard lesson. It was a hard lesson because, there are those who say their freedom was taken away. I gave mine away, living foolishly. So in giving my freedom away, I gave a whole lot of blessings away. But I learned a lot, and so I'm grateful. And so, again, I thank all of you all who are out there, who listen, who comment, who subscribe, who share, who just, simply comment on the little nuggets of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I possess. I appreciate you. Breaking generational curses. Breaking generational curses. That is a hard thing for us to do because it's generational, right? People have done things for so long that it's hard to break from those traditions, even if those traditions are terrible for us as a family and as a people. Alcoholism. That's a generational curse. And I'm not judging. I swear I'm not looking down my nose at people that drink, in abundance or in excess. I've drank, before I was incarcerated, I drank a lot. I thought I just liked the taste of the beer, the taste of the alcohol. But the reality is what we often do is we use drugs, we use alcohol primarily to make us forget, right? The weight that we may carry in our hearts and in our minds, the weight of the world, the weight of mistakes made. And so we drown out, these things with alcohol, so, and some will do it, their occasional drinks, they might sip a little wine, cool. There are those who might sip a little, harder liquor, cool, weekend, a little sip, little beer, not knocking that. What I'm saying, there are those who drink heavy. daily, weekly. Not only is that a waste of money, a tremendous waste of money, when we could be giving that to the next generation somehow, establishing businesses, bank accounts, doing anything, fostering the talents of the youth, of our children, of our nieces, our nephews, our grandchildren. We could be doing plenty with the money that we spend on alcohol. And since I've been home, I know weed, marijuana has been legalized in a lot of places. Everybody gets high. And that's their affair. Like I say, more often than not, we use drugs and we use alcohol to numb, right, the pain that we have in our hearts and in our minds. We use these things to dull the pain that we have in our minds, the visions that we have in our minds. And so I understand that, right? I used to drink, like I said, before I got locked up. You know, those who follow my channel have heard my tales. I've seen a lot. I've endured a lot. I've watched my parents, you know, I've watched my family members do, you know, I've seen violence. I've seen drug use. I've seen alcoholism in abundance. I've seen poverty, you know, I've seen it all, you know what I mean? Or a lot, you know, I've seen a lot. And I know there are many people out there that have seen way more than me. And I look at the news, and I don't really always enjoy looking at the news, but I look at it. I look at the tragedies on this planet, man. I look at what goes on in Africa, in many of the places, not all, but in many of the places, the extreme poverty, right? The extreme poverty, the extreme hardship, children growing up with flies in their faces and their mouths, and, you know, eating a small bowl of rice or some bread, you know, and that's it. You know, we take for granted so many things. I see that goes on. There are places in Asia where the homeless are youth. I mean, children. You know what I'm saying? How you have groups, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 youth living under bridges, living in subway tunnels in Asia, you know, South America. You know, you have poverty everywhere. So, but I'm speaking on generational curses. I'm speaking on when we have issues within our communities, within our homes. How do we stop it? How do we stop our children from becoming what we have been or that we are? And how do we stop them from becoming what the environment is molding and producing in them? As I speak on here, in Richmond, Virginia, D.C., New York, I believe, Chicago, in the last couple of weeks, there have been children killed. 7 years old, 3 years old, 5-year-old children now. But why? Because there are generational curses still in effect. You know, the youth are watching their mothers, and their mothers are pained because of the absence of the fathers. So these mothers who are pained by the absence of their fathers are many sitting at home, right? Drinking, smoking, on the phones with their girlfriends, complaining about life because they're hurt and they're angry that the man that said they loved them, the man that said they would be there with them, he's not there anymore. And he left the mother with the responsibility of raising 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children. That's a weighty responsibility, man. To have a mother have to get up all night to take care of a baby, to dress children up for school in the morning, to feed these children, to walk these children to and fro, appointments, doctor's appointments, school appointments. Like, man, I can't fathom. I don't have children. But I sit back and I think about that weight of having to do all that, lack of sleep. No way of, you know, going here and there. And oftentimes the fathers of these children, you know, they aren't hardworking men. They really, you know, that's the reality. They aren't hardworking men. I see them out here at 7-Eleven, borrowing dollars and bumming change. I see them on street corners bumming, young men. I'm not talking about the ones who have mental issues, like extreme and serious mental issues. I'm talking about these lazy guys, you know, who have babies by several different women. who continue to have babies by several different women. So I would urge women as well, though, to sharpen your antenna. Sharpen your antenna. Hone your innate instinct to pick and choose better men. Because your children are also suffering because you liked the guy because he was cute, he was handsome, he was sexy, he had a swag, so you liked him enough to open your legs to him. You gave birth to his child, but he was a bum before you met him. He's a bum now, and so your children have to suffer that, right? Because you also made a mistake to deal with that bum. That's a generational curse. Stop dealing with bums. Dig deep within yourself. Know that you don't have to walk with somebody every day. You don't have to have a man because a romantic movie is out. You don't have to have a companion, a bed warmer. You don't. I'm doing me. Yeah, but when you do you, that affects your children, because if your children see you laid up with different men on a regular, that's going to hurt their hearts, man. And I can say it from a son's perspective. A son does not like to see his mother, man, involved with a lot of guys, man, really, because it makes us angry, because we don't think anybody worthy of our mothers anyhow. So we have an internal dislike, for the guy more often than that, unless he's a genuine guy and we sense that and he includes us. You got guys out here that will sleep with the mother all day and won't even engage the children, won't even deal with the children. As a mother, you can't even deal with a guy. You shouldn't even deal with a guy that's not willing to embrace the whole package sincerely, right? So that's a generational curse. Men don't want to be fathers. Man, that's your blood running through that baby, man. How can you not wake up? I don't care if you're not dealing with the child's mother. How can you not wake up and not want to hear your child's voice? Not want to protect your child? Man, these streets are ugly. These streets are mean out here. Mean. And you don't want to deal with your child? You don't want to listen to your child's voice, hear your child giggle? You don't want to make sure your child is safe every day? Man, they kidnapping kids out here. They raping kids out here. They shooting kids out here. And we complain about the baby mother all day. Man, listen. That used to burn me up when I was in prison, man, listening to guys argue over canteen and won't send $1 home. Arguing over a dice game and won't send a card home. And then when you talk to them, and I've actually talked to guys, man, hey, how your son doing? You heard from him? Man, I ain't dealing with Shorty, man. I ain't, Shorty wild as I don't know. My mama got her, though. My mama got him. You know what I'm saying? My mama picked my son up once a week, once a month, whatever. What are you doing? I remember the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. He was a truck driver and an arm wrestler. And, him and his son's mother, they weren't together. And so when eventually he got, opportunity to take his son with him on the road, on the truck driving and, son watching him arm wrestler, his son was real, preppy. He went to prep school and things like that. And so he was real serious, Sylvester Stallone was more of a barroom type of guy, rough guy, blue collar guest, so the son really wasn't feeling him, wasn't gonna call him dad, was calling him Mr. Such and such and sir and all that. But there came a time when the son, got away from him, kind of ran away, missed the mother, and Sylvester Stallone told him, man, I wrote you. Man, he was like, why weren't you there? He was like, I wrote you all the time. The son was like, no, you didn't. So eventually the son, didn't like, some of the rules that Sylvester Stallone was giving him, and he ran away, and he ran home, and his mother was asleep in the bed, and the son rummaged through the closet. And in the closet, the son found all of Sylvester Stallone's letters. That happens, right? That happens. So, once he read them, he softened his heart, and he was able to form a bond with Sylvester Stallone. So I know that happens, and there are men who are watching this who may have gone through the same thing with baby mothers poisoning the children's thoughts. I know some mothers, man, who had some bum baby fathers, but they never knocked the father to the children. I know a couple of mothers like that, man, and the dudes were bums, right? But they never contaminated the child's spirit. And the children eventually grew to understand the father without being contaminated, because they grow into a knowledge of right and wrong, good and bad. And so they see that the efforts that their mother put into their lives, and they gain a greater respect and love for their mothers, many, and they see what their father has done or hasn't for the most part, and they've developed their own feelings towards that, right? So that's a generational curse. And these are curses that we have to break. We have to stop allowing ourselves to be numbed by alcohol and drugs and things like that. And even, whether we listen to music all day. I love music. Like, I listen to music like almost 24/7. When I come into my office, I look around, I grab whatever I need for that day. I grab drills and I check off a little list or whatever. But usually I turn around and put my music on, from 4 o'clock in the morning. I wake up, I say my prayers, go about my ablutions and whatnot, and, drink me a little coffee, listening to music, turn it off when I'm praying, turn it back on when I'm finished, driving to work, music. So I love music. But there are times when we as humans, we have to turn off everything, right? I heard a saying, silence is the loudest noise. So sometimes we have to turn around and take everything away and face those internal demons, whether the demons are in our mind or the demons are in our heart. The weight is in our mind, the weight is in our heart. We have to face these things. We have to sometimes talk to somebody. Most of us need therapy. Most of us really need therapy. We need to sit on a couch for a long, long, long time because it's hard to talk to people. You tell someone, man, I'm going through it today. I'm going through it too. Man, I just lost a family member. I lost 5 family members. You can't even get off your chest the things that weigh heavy because others are also suffering. And so because they're suffering, they really don't want to hear your suffering. So when you try to share your pain, they have their guard up or they come with their suffering. And so there we are again. No one is healing because no one wants to help each other heal, right? So, but we have to heal. We have to heal for these babies, man. We can't continue to just march in the streets just because a child was killed or somebody was killed by a law enforcement agent. Now we have to march. We have to form programs. I'm not against marching. Many are. I'm not against marching because there are things that have been developed as a result of the people moving together in accord. But you just can't start and stop at a march. That energy that is galvanized during the march has to be channeled. The first law of the universe is motion. You put things in motion. The sun, the earth, everything, rotation, revolving, etc. But then you give it direction. Second law, direction. So people come together, we're rallying, stop killing the youth. After that, what do we do? After that march, when we go home, what do? We don't just stop because we didn't march. Nah, what we do is we form committees and we say we're going to come back out into our neighborhoods with these young guys who are our children, who are our nephews, who are our brothers and cousins. They're out there hustling, but they believe they've taken over. Nah, we have to come back out. Come back out in the neighborhood. Sit out there. Set up some barbecues. Eat. Talk to the youth, but don't talk down to them. Don't tell them, when I was your age, we did this. When I was your age, we did that. They don't want to continue to hear what we did. They want to be acknowledged for what they can do. So when you see them playing ball and they good with the crossover, okay, look, I know a basketball league. They can draw. Don't tell them stop drawing on the concrete. Buy them a sketch pad and say, look, draw on that. Then these phones, you can make all types of money. You tell them draw on that, then you put it on Facebook or you put it somewhere and someone may say, I like that drawing. I want them to draw for my shirt line, my clothing line, my magazine, my book cover. We have to learn that there's so much more that we can do to nurture and foster our communities, as opposed to just sitting back, looking at TV, playing video games, drinking and smoking all day, waiting to collect money. And those who are earning money out there, I salute you. Because that's a task. For those who get up every morning to work hard to pay bills and to take care of their responsibilities, I salute you. I know what that feels like now. I did a little bit of construction work before I was incarcerated. So I knew a little bit. Nah, it's different. It's different as an adult. And I understand that. But for those of us who, and I just say us, not trying to, take myself out the loop because I made mistakes. For those of us who choose to just sit around and complain and wait, can't get it that way. And I know, like, sometimes we're fighting a lot of things. We're fighting years of people telling you can't go to college. Nah, you can. You can get on the phone right now and there are free college courses. And sometimes that title, that PhD or that credit, might help you get a job. That certificate might help you get a job, right? We have to teach our kids what it is to respect again. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. We have to learn and teach them that, because courtesy will take you much further than a lot of other things. Like I say, this, we can go on and on, together. But I believe those who are watching understand where I'm coming from. We have to break these generational curses. We have to dig deeper within ourselves. The Most High gave us strength. He breathed the breath of life into us, man. We have within us the very things that Moses, Noah, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon all these worthy servants of the Most High. We have the same blood coursing through us that coursed through Harriet Tubman, Toussaint L'Ouverture, you know what I mean? Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King, Murray McLeod Bethune, Sojourner Truth. The same blood that courses through the ones that we look up to, that we say those are the great ones. Yeah, look at what they accomplished. The same blood that courses through them courses through us. And the wild thing is, many of them didn't even have the amount of knowledge that we have. The amount. Some of us, man, have knowledge coursing through our minds, and yet Harriet Tubman could not read or write. And something in her told her to save her people. And so every night she woke up and she ran through the woods for miles. She walked, she ran. She stumbled, she cried, she bled to save her people. Hey, we can't even get up out the bed to work for our son, our daughter, to provide a better environment. We can't even go outside and clean up our neighborhoods. We want the government to do it. You got places, man, where the trash, man, don't even pick the trash up, and trash is blowing everywhere. And yet it's hard for us to go get a Glad bag and just pick it up, tie the bag and set it over there, make it a community event. You see? Get the youth involved. Get them to clean the neighborhoods up, and then turn around and let's cook some food for them, man, and let them know we appreciate that. Yeah, this our neighborhood. We can clean it up. We may not be able to take the trash to no dump yard, but what we can do is tie them bags tight and put them over there by the dumpster, so when they come and pick them up, it's a little orderly. Like I say, I'm not ranting and I'm not venting. I'm just talking. Trying to break generational curses, even within my own family, even within my own self, because I was a part of the generational curse when I got incarcerated, when I sold drugs, when I was out there carrying guns. I was also a part of a generational curse. I'm doing my best to break it now. Doing my best, man. So I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for hearing me and sharing with me and walking this journey with me. Like I say, if you don't believe me, I'm on Instagram, Khalid Kareem 75. You can follow me on Facebook, Khalid Kareem. You can see that I really work with the youth. You can see that I'm trying to work with the youth continuously and on and on and on. You can see that I love my family, that I do my best, to stay in touch with them, and even those family members who are on the peripheral, that everybody may not embrace or just don't contact. I try. And I'm still lacking because they're family members that I'm supposed to be calling. I ain't called, I ain't talked to, and there's no beef. It's just that I understand people get busy. But man, sometimes we can text, just I love you. We can text, man, just thinking about you, stay up, appreciate you. So again, generational curses. Strengthen our communication. Strive to drink less. Strive to smoke less. Strive to work harder. Strive to embrace our young more, respect each other more, do more for each other, and it doesn't cost money to do more, and do and be better, and thank the Most High every chance you get, man, because there are those who won't live to see today. There are those who won't live to see tomorrow, and we here. Again, peace. I appreciate you.